When it comes to finding the least common multiple of some of these rational expressions for their denominators, what might be helpful to think of is in my last video, I had a problem that looked like this, where my denominators were completely different. And so I factored them, and I found that they had one of those factors in common, but I had to multiply this one that was missing over here by x minus 4 over itself, x minus 4. And then this one was missing the x plus 2 over x plus 2. And I got then a common denominator of these three factors, x minus 4, x minus 1, and x plus 2. All right, today we're going to take kind of those denominators and we're going to try to find just the least common multiple given these are to kind of represent like the denominators of some of those rational expression problems. All right, what I mean by that is this one, there's nothing I can really factor out of x plus 3, but x squared minus 9, of course, is a difference of squares, and that would give you x plus 3 times x minus 3. So think if those were both in my denominators here, this one would be missing the x minus 3. So I would need both of those to become the least common multiple. So I can say my LCM, least common multiple, is x plus 3 times x minus 3. All right, let's try a little trickier one. These two both need to be factored, kind of like those ones were. And let's see what happens here. What multiplies to be negative 10 and adds to be negative 3? Well, that's going to be negative 5 and 2. So x, oops, I just said one thing. I wrote the wrong thing. Let's go x minus 5 and x plus 2. Over here, what multiplies to be 6 and adds to be 5? 2 and 3. X plus 2, x plus 3. Okay, so do they have any in common? Yes, they have the 2 in common, but I need to have all three. And so I would say, that doesn't go together. I would say that my least common multiple is going to be one of the x minus 5s, one of the x plus 2s, but then I also need an x plus 3. That's what each side, again, if those were in my denominators, that's what each side would need in order for me to have all three be the same for this one. So I'll circle that here. Then the last one here is maybe tricky. Does this thing factor? Yes, it does. Remember, you can always take out a GCF of 2, and then I'd be left with x plus 4. Does this thing factor? Well, what multiplies to be 4 and adds to be 3? 4 and 1, I think the 4 would be positive, so x plus 4 and x minus 1, and 1 would be negative. So these actually have an x plus 4 in common, and kind of like up above, it's okay if you just have a number as one of these factors. So I'm going to say my least common multiple is going to be a 2 out front, an x plus 4, and then lastly an x minus 1. All right, so finding the least common multiple to help you come up with the denominators of some of these rational expressions when you add or subtract can be a little bit tricky, but hopefully this helps you find what those are.